The elevator doors opened with a soft ding. A file flew through the air and hit the floor near Eli's feet. Mr. Kane shouted, "Look at this mess! Are you blind or just useless?" Everyone in the office turned to stare. The poor office boy, Eli, froze. His hands shook. His eyes went down to the floor. Mr. Kane walked closer, his polished shoes shining. "You are late. Again. You spill coffee. You drop files. Why are you even here?" he said loudly so the whole floor could hear. Eli whispered, "Sir, I'm sorry. The bus broke down. And my mother." Mr. Kane cut him off. "I don't care about your mother. I don't care about your excuses. You are nothing here. Do you understand?" Eli's eyes filled with tears, but he nodded. "If you were in his place, what would you do?" The whole office watched. No one spoke. No one helped. And that was the moment karma started moving. The morning had started badly for Eli. He woke up in a tiny one-room house. The ceiling had a crack. The fan made a grinding sound every few seconds. His mother lay on a thin mattress, coughing. "Eli," she whispered, "did you eat?" He forced a smile. "Yes, Ma. I ate at the office canteen." "Don't worry." But he had not eaten. He only had enough money for her medicine today. He looked at his torn shoes. The sole was opening. He pressed it back with his finger and sighed. His little sister, Mia, sat in the corner doing homework. "Did they shout at you yesterday?" she asked softly. He smiled again, fake but gentle. "Nothing I can't handle." Outside, the bus was late. Then it broke down halfway. Eli had to run the last part of the road. By the time he reached the glass building where he worked, his shirt was wet with sweat. People in suits walked past him without a glance. Inside the office, everything looked rich and shiny. Marble floors, glass walls, big screens on the walls. Eli's job was small. He made tea. He carried files. He cleaned small things. He was the office boy. But to him, this job meant food, rent, and medicine. He hurried to the pantry to make coffee for Mr. Kane. Mr. Kane was the boss. Rich, stylish, sharp jaw, perfect tie, expensive watch. He spoke like he owned the world. Everyone feared him. Eli grabbed the tray with coffee and walked fast toward Mr. Kane's cabin. Suddenly, someone bumped into him. The tray shook. Hot coffee spilled on the floor. The cups rattled and one fell and broke. The sound echoed. Every head turned. "Unbelievable," someone muttered. Mr. Kane stepped out of his glass cabin. He saw the dark coffee on the white floor. He saw Eli, frozen, holding the tray, his hands trembling. Mr. Kane's face changed. His eyes turned cold. He walked forward and, without warning, slapped the tray out of Eli's hand. The rest of the cups crashed to the floor. People gasped. "Are you a child? Can't you even carry coffee?" Mr. Kane shouted. Eli stuttered, "Sir, I'm so sorry. Someone pushed me. I will clean it." Mr. Kane laughed, but it was not a kind laugh. "Of course you will clean it. That is what people like you are for." His words cut deeper than any slap. "People like you." The words stayed in the air like poison. Eli bent down and started wiping the floor with tissues. His hands shook. Hot coffee burned his fingers, but he didn't say a word. A few employees whispered, "Poor guy. Why does he scream like that?" But no one stepped forward. One woman, Sophie, looked away, her jaw tight. She hated this, but she needed her job too. Mr. Kane looked down at Eli. "You are late again," he said. Eli looked up from the floor. His eyes were wet. I'm really sorry, sir. The bus broke down. My mother is sick. I had to. Mr. Kane raised his hand. Stop. I don't want your poor story. This is a company, not a charity. If you can't even do a simple thing, maybe you don't deserve to work here. Eli's voice cracked. Please, sir. I really need this job. Mr. Kane smirked. Then act like it. One more mistake, and you are out. Do you hear me? Eli nodded quickly. His chest hurt, but he swallowed his pride. Behind them, someone cleared their throat. The receptionist spoke softly. Sir, Mr. Carter is here. He just arrived. Mr. Kane straightened his jacket. His tone changed at once. Ah, Mr. Carter. Our big investor, he said, smiling now. He stepped over the tissues and the spilled coffee without even looking at Eli again. Clean this up, he said coldly. You are an embarrassment. He walked to the lobby, his shoes clicking on the marble. Eli kept wiping the floor. One tear slid down and fell into the coffee stain. He whispered to himself, Why is my life like this? Have you ever seen someone treated like dirt just because they are poor? As Eli threw the last dirty tissue into the bin, he didn't know. The same man who just humiliated him would soon beg in front of him. And it would all start in the parking lot. Later that afternoon, the sun was burning hot over the parking lot. Eli walked outside, carrying a heavy box of old files. The security guard nodded to him. You should rest, Eli. You look tired. Eli smiled weakly. I'm okay, bye. I still have work. His stomach growled. He had not eaten since yesterday. He had given his lunch money for his mother's medicine. He placed the box near the dumpster and wiped sweat from his forehead. Just then, he saw an expensive black car pull into the parking area. Sleek. Shining. Definitely not normal. The car stopped, but the door didn't open. Eli watched. After a moment, he frowned. Something was wrong. He hurried closer and saw an older man inside. The man's eyes were closed. His face was pale. His hand clutched his chest. Sir? Sir? Eli knocked on the window. No response. Without thinking twice, Eli opened the car door. Sir, can you hear me? He asked, panic in his voice. The man blinked slowly. Water, please. Eli rushed to the security cabin. Water. Quickly, he shouted. He came back with a bottle and helped the man drink small sips. Breathe slowly, sir. It's okay. Just breathe, Eli said, his own hands trembling. The man looked at him with weak but kind eyes. Thank you, son, he whispered. Eli helped him step out of the car and guided him to a small shaded bench nearby. Should I call an ambulance? Eli asked. The man shook his head slowly. No, I'm fine now. It happens sometimes. I just needed a moment. Thank you for helping me. Eli nodded, still worried. He opened his small lunchbox, the one he had packed just in case but planned not to eat. It only had 2 dry chapatis and a little potato curry. He pushed it toward the man. Here, sir. You should eat something, Eli said. The man looked at the food. And you? Eli smiled. I'm not very hungry. It was a lie. His stomach screamed. But he ignored it. The man broke a piece and ate slowly. As he ate, he watched Eli's face. Do you work here? He asked. Yes, sir. I'm the office boy. What's your name? Eli. And why do you look like you haven't slept in days, Eli? The man asked gently. Eli hesitated, then shrugged. My mother is sick. I work here. I also work nights at a small shop. It's okay. I just need this job, sir. The man nodded slowly. There was a softness in his eyes now. "You helped me without knowing who I am," he said. "Most people would have just walked past." Eli shook his head. "No, sir. You were in trouble. Anyone should help." The man smiled. "If you were watching, maybe you would feel it too. Sometimes real kindness is quiet. No camera. No showing off. Just a boy sharing his only food with a stranger." The security guard walked closer and whispered to Eli, "Do you know who that is? That is Mr. Carter, the main investor, the man who can buy and sell companies like this in a second." Eli's eyes widened. He turned to the man. "You're Mr. Carter?" he stammered. Mr. Carter smiled. "Yes, but today I was just a tired old man who needed help. And you helped me." Before Eli could say anything else, they heard a voice behind them. "There you are." It was Mr. Kane. His smile was wide, fake, and shiny. "Mr. Carter, sir. I was waiting for you upstairs. Why didn't you come to my office?" Mr. Kane said. He walked over and looked at Eli with instant irritation. "What are you doing here? Why are you bothering our guest?" Mr. Kane snapped. Eli stepped back. "Sir, he was not feeling well. I just—" "Shut up," Mr. Kane said sharply. "Did I ask you to speak?" His voice was full of disgust. In front of everyone. In front of the man Eli had just helped. Mr. Kane turned back to Mr. Carter. "I'm sorry about him, sir. These low-level staff don't know how to behave. I will deal with him later," he said with a cold smile. He grabbed Eli's arm and pushed him aside. "Go back to your work. Don't stand in front of important people." "You look messy," Mr. Kane said. Eli's cheeks burned. Mr. Carter watched the whole scene. Every word. Every gesture. His face grew serious. He stood up slowly. "Actually, Mr. Kane," he said quietly, "Eli was not bothering me. He was helping me." Mr. Kane blinked, confused. "Helping you?" "Yes," Mr. Carter said. "I had a small health problem when I arrived. This boy gave me water. He helped me sit. He even offered me his lunch." Mr. Kane's smile faded a little. "Oh, I see. Well, I'll still make sure he behaves better. We can't let staff like him spoil the company's image, you know." Mr. Carter's eyes turned colder. "Staff like him," he repeated slowly. Mr. Kane didn't notice the danger. He laughed. "Yes, poor people. Uneducated. They are always a problem. You help them once and they stick to you like glue. That's why I keep them in their place. Otherwise, they forget who they are." The parking lot went silent. Even the guard looked down, ashamed. Eli stared at the ground, his hands clenched. Mr. Carter took a long breath. "Is this how you run your company, Mr. Kane?" he asked. Mr. Kane chuckled nervously. "Well, discipline is important, sir. You know how it is. People from the lower side, they don't listen unless you are strict." Mr. Carter's next words were like ice. "I grew up on that lower side, Mr. Kane." Mr. Kane's face went white. "I was poorer than this boy. I was treated like dirt by men like you," Mr. Carter continued. "I worked as a cleaner in offices like this. I know exactly what it feels like to be shouted at for things that are not your fault." Eli's heart started beating faster. Everyone fell quiet. Mr. Carter looked at Eli and then at Mr. Kane. "I came today to make a final decision about this company," he said. "To decide if I should invest more. Or take it away." Mr. Kane quickly said, "Of course you should invest, sir. Our numbers are great. Our profit is high. We are—" Mr. Carter cut him off. I have seen enough, he said. It is not just about numbers. It is about how you treat people. He turned to Eli. Eli, can you come upstairs with us? He asked gently. Eli's eyes widened. Me, sir? Yes. You, Mr. Carter said. I want you in the meeting room. Mr. Kane stuttered. Sir, why him? He is just an office boy. He doesn't understand anything about business. Mr. Carter gave him a hard look. That's exactly why I want him there, he replied. They walked toward the elevator. The doors closed. In that small elevator, fate stood between a rich boss and a poor office boy. And when it opened on the top floor, nothing would be the same again. What do you think is going to happen to Mr. Kane now? The boardroom was big. A long table, soft chairs, a large screen on the wall. Eli stood near the door, his hands folded in front of him. He felt small in that room. Mr. Kane sat at the head of the table. Other senior managers filled the chairs. Mr. Carter stood near the window, looking out at the city. Finally, he turned around. Let's begin, he said. The room went quiet. One of the managers smiled and started a presentation about profits, charts, and growth. He spoke about numbers and deals. Mr. Carter raised a hand. Stop, he said. I don't need this presentation today. Everyone looked confused. I already know your numbers, he said. I've seen your reports. That's not why I'm here. He pointed at Eli. I'm here because of him. All eyes turned to the poor office boy standing by the door. Eli felt his face burn. Mr. Kane forced a laugh. Sir, I'm sure there's some mistake. He must have told you some dramatic story. These poor people always do that. They want pity. They are good at acting. Mr. Carter's eyes flashed. Careful with your words, Mr. Kane, he said. You are talking about the boy who helped me breathe today. He looked around the table. Let me ask all of you something, he said to the managers. How does your boss treat the staff here? No one spoke. Silence. Some looked down at their hands. Some looked at the door. Mr. Carter nodded slowly. Fear, he said. I can see it on your faces. He gestured to Eli. Come here, son. Stand beside me. Eli walked slowly toward him. His steps were shaky. Tell me honestly, Mr. Carter said softly. How are you treated here? Eli swallowed. He looked at Mr. Kane for a second. Mr. Kane glared at him, his eyes screaming, Don't you dare! Eli's heart pounded. But then he remembered his mother's tired face, his little sister's hopeful eyes. He took a deep breath. He looked at Mr. Carter. Sir, I am shouted at every day, he said, voice trembling. I am called useless. I am called people like you. Sometimes in front of everyone. Sometimes when I make small mistakes, he threatens to fire me. He paused. His eyes filled with tears. I'm always scared, sir. But I stay because I need the money. My mother is sick. I don't want charity. I just want respect. A tear rolled down his cheek. He wiped it quickly, embarrassed. Sophie, one of the employees, suddenly spoke. It's true, she said, voice shaking. Sir, Mr. Kane is very harsh with the lower staff. He calls them names. He makes fun of their clothes. We all see it. But we stay quiet because we are afraid. Another man added, he once made the janitor cry, just because the floor had a small stain. Voices rose. Little stories came out, one by one, each one like a small knife. Mr. Kane's face turned red. He slammed his hand on the table. This is ridiculous, he shouted. You all are turning against me for a boy who cleans floors? I built this company. Not them. Me. Mr. Carter stayed calm. He took a thick file from his bag and placed it on the table. Actually, he said quietly, you didn't build this company alone. He opened the file. I own 60% of your company now. I bought most of the shares silently, he said. And today, I came to see if you deserve to stay in your chair. The room went cold. Mr. Kane stuttered, "Sir, you can't do this. You need me. I am the only one who can." "I don't need a man who steps on the people beneath him," Mr. Carter said firmly. "You think shouting makes you powerful. It doesn't. It only shows how weak your heart is." He looked at the managers. "From this moment on," he said, "Mr. Kane is removed as CEO." The words hit like thunder. Mr. Kane stood up so fast his chair fell over. "You can't fire me," he shouted. "This is my life, my status, my—" "It is not about status," Mr. Carter said. "It is about character." He turned to Eli. "And this boy has more character in his small hands than you have in your whole body." Mr. Kane's voice dropped to a whisper. "Please, sir," he said, suddenly begging, "don't do this. I have a lifestyle, a reputation." Mr. Carter's face was calm but firm. "You should have thought of that when you called him people like you," he replied. He looked at Eli again. "Eli, I want to ask you something," Mr. Carter said. Everyone watched. "Do you want me to throw him out right now?" he asked. "Or do you want something else?" The room held its breath. Eli stared at Mr. Kane. He remembered every insult, every time he had been humiliated, every time he had gone home with tears and still smiled for his family. His fists slowly relaxed. He shook his head. "No, sir," Eli said softly. "Don't throw him on the street. I know how that feels. I don't want anyone to suffer like that." He looked at Mr. Kane, whose eyes were now wet with fear. "I just want him to understand what it feels like," Eli said. "To be small, to be shouted at, to feel scared of losing everything." Mr. Carter nodded. "That is real strength," he said. "Not revenge. Mercy." He turned to the room. "Here is my decision," he said clearly. "Mr. Kane will stay in this company, but not as CEO." Mr. Kane frowned. "Then as what?" Mr. Carter's next words flipped their lives. "You will now work as the office manager," he said. "You will handle the same staff you insulted. You will coordinate cleaning, pantry, small tasks. You will be in charge of supplies. And you will report to—" He placed a gentle hand on Eli's shoulder. "Him." The whole room froze. Eli's mouth fell open. "Me, sir?" he whispered. "Yes, you," Mr. Carter said. "You will get training. I will personally mentor you. I will pay for your evening classes in management. You have a good heart, and a good heart can learn business, but a bad heart cannot learn kindness." He looked at Mr. Kane. "From today, Eli is Junior Operations Supervisor," he announced. "He may be young. He may be poor. But he has something money cannot buy." Mr. Kane looked like someone had pulled the ground from under his feet. He swallowed hard. "You expect me to take orders from him?" he asked quietly. Mr. Carter nodded. "Yes, I do," he said. "That is your karma, Mr. Kane. You used your seat to crush him. Now you will learn to look up and say, 'Yes, sir,' to the boy you once called trash." Everyone watched. The rich boss, the poor office boy. The world had turned. Later that evening, in the same office hallway, Eli walked with a small ID card hanging from his neck. It had a new title under his name: Junior Operations Supervisor. His salary was higher now. Enough for his mother's treatment. Enough for Mia's school. Sophie came up to him, smiling. "Congratulations, Eli. You deserve this." He smiled shyly. "Thank you." Down the hall, Mr. Kane walked slowly, carrying a box of stationaries. He no longer wore his expensive suit. He looked smaller, quieter. He stopped in front of Eli. For a moment, they just looked at each other. Mr. Kane took a deep breath. I brought the new register for the pantry," he said. "Where should I keep it, sir?" He struggled with the last word. But he said it. Eli felt a strange pain in his chest. He didn't enjoy seeing Mr. Kane like this. "Yes, on that shelf is fine," Eli said gently. "And Mr. Kane?" Mr. Kane looked up, embarrassed. "Yes," he replied. Eli met his eyes. "I don't want you to call me sir," he said softly. "Just treat everyone with respect now. That's enough for me." Mr. Kane's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry, Eli," he whispered. "For everything." There was a long pause. Eli nodded. "I forgive you," he said. "But please, don't be that man again." Mr. Kane blinked rapidly and looked away. He nodded and walked off, shoulders heavy, but something inside him had changed. That night, Eli went home. He gave his mother the good news. She cried and held his face in her hands. "You didn't become rich," she said, "but you became something more. You became a good man in a high place." Mia jumped and hugged him. "Does this mean I can buy a new notebook?" she asked. Eli laughed through his tears. "Yes, and maybe even a new school bag." He stepped outside for a moment and looked up at the sky. "Thank you," he whispered. Maybe he meant God. Maybe he meant life. Maybe he meant karma. Back at the office, Mr. Carter sat alone in the boardroom. He looked at the empty CEO chair. Then he smiled. "That's better," he said softly. "Power should sit with those who know pain. Only then it is safe. Sometimes karma does not wait for years. Sometimes it happens in the same building, on the same day. The man who insulted a poor boy ended up working under him. The boy who was treated like trash became his boss. Not because of money, but because of his heart. If you ever get power, remember this. Money can make you a boss, but only kindness can make you a human. Have you ever seen someone abuse their power like Mr. Kane? What would you do if you were in Eli's place?